Okay guys, I'm going to link in a weird dream alert that I normally write in my book. I'm actually going to tell you about it and kind of what that dream has, what lessons that dream has led me to, and I'm going to talk to you about, link that into motivation and how to use motivation in your favour and how to get it and all that stuff. So anyway, back to my dream last night. Funny enough, I've had a lot of dreams about school. This one last night was about school. From what I remember, there was a bit about flow, and when I was trying to tell the teacher, don't let them do something that they don't like get into flow over. So I was telling the teacher, let them get into flow. That was one little bit, and God, I can't even breathe properly. The second bit was I was going to have a physics exam, and I knew about the physics exam, but I didn't revise for it. And then, of course, a few weeks later, that test was sprung on us, and I remember just feeling awful. And I also remember that feeling a lot from school, my real school life, because that happened a lot at school, not revising for tests and all that stuff. But then when I woke up, and I think why the dream was telling me about this stuff is, what is the point of being average and just revising for things that you're never going to need in life? Because as soon as I left school, I never used those stuff that I needed to know in physics and biology and chemistry, especially maths and algebra, and all that stuff that I was learning in AS level maths, which I did so badly at. You're never going to need that stuff unless you decide mastery on that subject in particular. But the reason why I want to link that in is because of talk about motivation. Now with motivation, I kind of thought about the dream, the school dream. What does it mean? It's obviously my conscious going to my unconscious that I don't like school. I think school's stupid. I think the idea of school being about being average is bullshit. You should not be jack of all trades like a school teacher. You should be master of one thing. You should be master of one thing. Brilliant book, by the way. Brilliant book. Anyway, I thought about how I'm lining myself up so much, subconsciously and consciously, with this whole idea that school is bullshit. You can see I've made videos about it, I've had dreams about school, how it's just, they've got it wrong and what they're trying to teach you. Also, it kind of links in with motivation, because I'm determined to become one of these people, and I know I'm going to become one of these people that is going to make it in business, in my dating life, in my health, wealth, relationships. I'm going to make it successful. I'm going to be successful in all those areas, despite the fact that I did badly at school, or I didn't do well at school. Despite that fact, I'm not going to be the only person. There's so many successful people throughout history. That Richard Branson left school at 16. He's a great example. There's so many examples of people that failed at school or just did okay at school. Thomas Edison, remember when he was 5 years old, the teacher wrote to his mum saying he can't concentrate at school. He's never going to achieve anything in life. Look what happened to him. He made it. The point is that everyone, my story at the moment is that I'm going to make it, despite the fact of school trying to kind of teach me to be average at everything. I've decided no, I'm not going to let school dictate my life and be average at everything. I'm going to be good at one thing. Yeah, I'm going to be good at one thing. I'm going to be on the road to mastery. And that's motivation, you see, because now I'm lining up this whole hate of school, and it's building every day, this hate, this ideology that I'm going to succeed despite school. I've got more motivation, or at least school now is a massive part of my motivation to become the best version of myself and to achieve everything I want to in life. That makes any sense at all. And there's 3 types of motivation, I like to think. There's day-to-day motivation, there's lower consciousness motivation, there's higher consciousness motivation. They're all different. Lower consciousness motivation is something that I also use, but I don't know why. It's never really been a key for me. It's never really been that important, that motivating, to be honest with you. But basically low consciousness motivation is petty motivation. It's proving people wrong. It's proving people wrong. It's like if my dad, who at the moment believes I can't be successful, fine, I'm going to prove him wrong. My brother and sister think I'm right, fine, I'm going to prove them wrong. My best friend Matt thinks I can't, fine, I'm going to prove him wrong. People like, that's why I write down sometimes, it's nice, write down, like, there's a girl I used to work with, who said, haha, dating psychology, Harry, you're never going to make it now, there's no good money in that, blah blah, you're never going to make it, and she thinks it's a joke. And so many people in my life think it's a joke. If they don't say it, because I don't ask them, do you think I'm going to be successful? And if they do say yes, then they're lying, because deep down most people, 99% of people, because they don't get success, you see, don't realise that I'm going to be successful. So it's kind of, all of that is petty motivation to prove the whole world wrong, because no one really believes right now that I can. No one does, apart from actually no one does. It's all down to me. I know it's possible, and I don't even know it's possible, I know it's going to happen, but it's all And I don't know why I don't use petty motivation that much, but it never really inspired me. Now the next one, yes, I did. Everyday motivation. And the everyday motivation is, like, if you're a normal guy, the desire for sex. That would motivate you pretty much, doesn't it? Your daily desire for sex. However, my everyday motivation was motivated by pain. Massive pain. That's what inspired me to get starting in the first place. It was huge. I was in such pain at that moment, I couldn't bear it. And then it got to a tipping point where I thought, fuck it. Here we go. And I did the hardest thing in the world, which was approach people on the street. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. And I remember my brain telling me that, you know, this is not you. It was trying to put me off, but I just carried on. And I remember how slow results were at the beginning. Oh my god. And how difficult, and how much my brain had so much fucking rewiring in those first few weeks. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I was so fucking excited as well. Like, I was excited with the most basic bullshit things you can imagine. Just like going up to a man and asking for street directions was the hardest thing in the world. That's not even cold approaching women. That was just asking someone on the streets, a stranger, for directions. It was the hardest thing in the world. I'm not even joking. I'm not even lying. My brain was telling me, that's not you, you're lying, blah, blah. Didn't get it. Anyway, that's the point. That's everyday motivation, so it depends on how everyone... You can use pain as everyday motivation if it gets to a tipping point, or you can just, as a normal person, as a guy, your desire for sex, which is a kind of like an everyday thing. You can use that as motivation or whatever. And then there's the one that probably, as the years have gone by, has become more and more profound as I've moved from everyday motivation to this higher consciousness motivation, and higher consciousness motivation being something greater than yourself. It's way more than petty motivation. It's you at your best. It's kind of like, what do I want to achieve? Do I want to inspire other people? What kind of legacy do I want to leave? How do I want to change the world? In other words, it's a motivation. It's not all about you and your own selfish desires. It's more than that. It's a motivation about how you can make a difference. You trying to make sense of the world, realizing you're just a small, at the same time, paradoxically realizing you're just a small piece of meat, and that ultimately life's pointless and all that stuff. It's high conscious motivation is the kind of thing that you're trying to say, I want to do this because I want to move humanity in the right direction. I want to leave the world in a better place than before I even came into this world. That's the kind of motivation for high conscious motivation. And it's very beautiful because you can find lots of different angles for it. Like, you want to leave a legacy, you want to be inspiring other people, you want to be pushing yourself so that you become happy, not from instant gratification, but from delayed gratification, from being your best. You wanna it's not all about you with high consciousness motivation. It's a beautiful thing. It's almost like the spiritual woo-woo kind of, without the woo-woo. It's the spiritual side of yourself that wants to change the world, make a difference, to improve the lives of other people by inspiring them, by first of all improving your lives, but then inspiring others. All this kind of thing. It's beautiful. So you want to be using higher consciousness, lower consciousness, and everyday motivation. And I guess I'm going to put school in a kind of like high consciousness motivation, actually, because I want to show people that school is not all important. I know my consciousness is going on about how school is just not, the jack of all trades stuff is just not, it's just being average at everything is not going to get you anywhere. School mentality is not going to get you anywhere. Like, needing to know things that you're not going to use in your life is not going to get you anywhere. You want to get mastery in your skill. So school is linked to high consciousness motivation. I want to, by becoming successful in business, by having an amazing dating life and an amazing social life, by becoming the best version of myself, I'm proving to people that school, I'm showing people that even though I failed at school, and actually I'm going to be a great example because I failed university twice. I failed my first year, took a year out and failed it again. So school and university and that kind of it, you can be successful despite that, because I'm going to be. And if anything, I am going to be successful because I failed at school and because I did badly at school, and that's the truth. So I'll leave you with that lesson to wake you up. Peace.